Hi, I'm Martin Lino, Business Workforce Management Leader at Altron. AI-driven workforce management solutions has completely transformed the way we're approaching the concept of workforce management. Historically, time and attendance. Now we're able to look and we use the data in the environment, for instance, the point of sale data. And from that, we're able to work out how many staff we need based on predicted sales, how many staff you need in the organization. That way, our clients are either able to, if you're understaffed, you don't have enough support for your clients and your clients have bad customer service. If you overstaff, you're obviously wasting money. How do you optimize the staff? And by the way, how do you make sure that the right staff are working at the right time on the right project? When I joined this business, my first client was Hungry Lion. And this partnership has allowed us to completely revolutionize workforce management way beyond the traditional time and attendance. The magic sauce is when you start looking at our client, the supplier of the software, the OEM, and Altron, and linking those three groups together in a triangle brings magic. It's about open communication.
Hi, my name is Mohadi Siepa. I'm the store manager at Hungry Lion Alex Mall. Before we had the new system that we are currently using, the system that we used before, it used to take us long to do the schedule. We used to do it manually. So with the new one, we just generate and then we come and edit here and there to meet up our forecast hours. The difference with the new system is that we spend less hours doing the schedule because we get to be given forecast hours in time and then we can schedule accordingly. With the previous system, it used to take me 4 to 5 hours to finish up making up the schedule, but right now it's only an hour and I'm done. The benefits of the new system is we don't go through a wall like absenteeism. Team members are able to access the schedule from the comfort of their homes. They can see what shifts they need to come in for and they will never miss a shift. And again, they are still able to book their own leave or sick leave, notify you through the new system, and then you know, worry, Nandi, it's not coming to work because she's sick or she went to the doctor.
I'm Lucille Edick, and I'm the payroll manager for Hungry Lion Group. UKG Dimensions has been a very important part in our streamlining of our processes. We are able to standardize our payroll process with a consistent weekly process where we integrate with our payroll system to monitor and then support operations to ensure that we pay away accurately. In addition to the benefits of utilizing the system that aligns with our manual business processes and brings stability, compared to last year June and this year June, our employer cost has stayed stable even with our expansion of new stores, and our overtime used to be 10% of our employer cost. It has significantly reduced to like 7% between June of last year and June of this year, and an overall between 22% drop in overtime across all the countries that we service. I'm very proud of that. It means that the payroll has done exceptionally well of using Dimensions and making sure that we pay out accurately as possible.
Hi, my name's Mark van Olst and I'm from Servios. We define cashier performance by how fast cashiers can conduct transactions and how much they manage to upsell in those transactions, and then obviously not having voids and things like that. For a cashier to understand where they rank versus other cashiers in terms of their speed, in terms of their upsell, is obviously very useful to help them to set their training agenda. Secondly, it helps Hungry Lion reward their best cashiers and make sure they can keep their best cashiers. And lastly, it is information that's used to schedule better. So before we started to integrate the Kronos' Dimensions system, Hungry Lion was scheduling people into shifts and getting the right sort of coverage, but it didn't consider which people to put in which shifts. So that's the little bit that we've added to Hungry Lion's implementation of Dimensions. So what we do now every week before the schedule happens is we look at which are going to be the busiest days and the busiest shifts. We look at who are your best cashiers available in that week, and then we start by scheduling those best cashiers into the busiest shifts. And then as we get to the quieter shifts, we put the cashiers that still have some development work ahead of themselves. Servios is an independent technology developer and consultancy. Our tagline is we serve the people who serve the people, and that's what we stand for. So in the case of Hungry Lion and fast food stores in general, our mission is to serve the cashiers so that they can serve the customers better. In the work that we're doing with Hungry Lion at the moment, the objective is to increase the performance of the store by improving the performance of cashiers, and that brings us into a collaboration with Dimensions, where we feed inputs into the Dimensions system that allows Kronos to then schedule the best cashiers and the best slots, and that allows Hungry Lion to obviously then generate more revenue and improve the throughput in their stores during busy times.
My name is Shailendra Singh. I'm the head of IT for Hungry Lion Fast Foods, and I'm responsible for the technology landscape of the business. The employee self-service portal is a vital component to the solution for the reason that it empowers the employees to, number one, have the information that they require at their fingertips, as well as the ability to remove burden from the manager in terms of taking ownership of the scheduling, ownership of distributing the rosters, ownership of making sure that everyone is up to date and everyone knows when they are working. Effectively having that process distributed right down to the end users via the UKG app has proved vital in having these employees feel empowered. The solution really begins with the employee clocking, the physical act of clocking, and there's multiple ways of doing that. There's either the employee entering a code into a keypad somewhere, there's the employee touching a fingerprint sensor and using some sort of biometric data, and the option that we opted for was the facial recognition via the Hikvision system. This held multiple advantages over the other two. Number one being that the physical act of entering a code can be done by a different employee, thus giving you erroneous data. The fingerprint biometric system works better than the code, but what we found during COVID was that there's a high touch surfaces and you have to sanitize in between. The hardware was taking a bit of a toll, and it's not ideally the best solution. What the Hikvision solution gave us was much more accurate data. It's also a 3D facial mapping, so you can't even hold a picture of the employee in front of the screen. Yeah, it just makes sure that the person clocking is the actual employee and gives you accurate data overall.
Hi, my name is Gideon Jacobs. I'm the head of productivity at Hungry Lion. I'm responsible for the overall business optimization and efficiency improvement in general across various different functions in our business. So the biggest challenge Hungry Lion was trying to solve was that on average we paid employees for hours worked at times that was not necessarily the best optimized time for that employee to be working at a specific time of the week. The Kronos Dimensions implementation solved for this problem, whereas we now only pay employees for the times where they should be working at the best optimally suited time in that week for the store. So an example of having more hours at busy times in the store and how that positively impacts customer satisfaction is where a store would expect a certain amount of sales, but the actual sales that a prediction model could indicate would be higher than the expected sales from the manager. In the past, a store would schedule, let's say, 2 cashiers at that given time, but due to excessive customers entering the store, the queue length would be very long. By now optimizing that schedule and having 3 to maybe 4 cashiers scheduled, You have an improved queuing time, shorter time that the customer has to wait for their food. That leads to better customer satisfaction. By implementing Kronos Dimensions, overtime is now spent or worked at times where it's business critical. So only in times where we have unforeseen absence, where an employee needs to be called in, but not just as a measure of extra time required for that individual. It's now the business needs that gets matched to the employee's needs, and in that way we have still overtime, but only overtime that's actually required. Servios is able to measure cashiers' performance through the point of sale data and select or indicate the best cashiers for the business. Using the dimensions scheduling and clocking tracking, we are then able to schedule the cashiers not for the amount of cashiers or the amount of hours that's required, but also the best cashiers at the busiest time. In that way, revenue is greatly enhanced for any business, any restaurant business, by having not only the right amount of hours at the right times, but also the right people that drives upselling and speed of service the best at the busiest times.
Good day, my name is Andrew Massey. I'm the Operations Manager for Inland Hungry Lion. I'm responsible for the Gauteng region, for Limpopo region, Northern Cape and Free State, and internationally I look after our Namibian market. The aggregation of our labor force is a function carried out by branch managers, and then above the branch managers we have a management structure called regional managers. These regional managers will have between 18 and 20 stores. So the reports that they're able to pull out of the system push all of that information together so that they can have one snapshot at it. This will then assist the regional managers to be able to coach and guide the branch managers to have better utilization of their workforce. The decision-making process in Hungry Lion with regards to labor is a collective. We have the branch managers, we have the regional managers who oversee the branch managers, and then you have my role, which is an operations manager. I oversee the regional managers. This is discussed in a weekly meeting where we do planning and another one where we do review. Based on performance and behavior of a store, we can adjust the workforce allocation. The algorithm that exists within the workforce forecast is sometimes challenging to be accurate if a store shows exceptional growth. That's been the only challenge. We do have the ability though to overcome that with using one of the tabs, which is ideal from last period, which will give you what did you do same period in the last month. So we have the ability to still have regional manager and operations manager input to adjust. It's not a fixed system. I think it's a learning system.
My name is Riyad Phillips. I'm the Senior Pre-Sales Manager for the Workforce Management Practice for Altron. The method that we used to solve these challenges was using electronic tools to be able to forecast the amount of chickens that they've been selling, the amount of burgers that they've been selling, and the amount of ice creams that they've been selling. And we use our staffing to effectively make sure that we meet these customer demands. The output of that is being able to utilize our staff more effectively, thus reducing our labor costs. There are 4 key areas in which we measured the ROI of this particular project. The first one was that of labor cost reduction. The second one was about effective productivity of utilization of our staff. The third key area was that of compliancy to labor legislation and company policy. And the fourth part was that of employee engagement. Hungry Lion is a fantastic customer to work with. They embrace the latest technology. The solutions that we offer is not only the workforce management tools, but these are tool sets that sits in the cloud. And we also use state-of-the-art facial recognition devices along all the stores across multiple countries. So that's absolutely fantastic.